Okay, we had discussed how you can create flipbook in previous video. So this is a small recap of that. We had used a blank paper, pen or pencil, and uh, did not need a blind clip or stapler. I had used a different approach. Okay, so we had created a small flipbook in the previous video. So I hope that you already created your own flipbook by seeing that video. If anyone did not saw that video, you can go to that video and you can create your own flipbook. Now we will continue the lesson from here. Uh, Now we will discuss the principles of animation. So by using a flipbook, you can create an animation by drawing page by page and adding an increment. Okay. So there are five main principles of animation. One is squash and stretch. That means adding flexibility to object and characters. You can squash means you can uh, reduce the height of the character. Squash. Stretch means you can uh, increase the character height. Stretching and squash. That means squash means in here sitting and take your take the characters arms and legs closer to you. Stretch means that character will be spread all of its parts viewable for the audience. So those are squish and stretch. And next one is anticipation. Anticipation means, for example, if you are uh, this person, if you going to jump, so there is a pause before jump. How you arrange your pose before do a jump? By seeing that pose, audience will already know now this person will go to jump in next step. Okay, so that step we will say as anticipation, preparing audience for an action. Okay, now another thing is now, for example, a person walking from here, you will see a pit in there, and this person while walking, he is look back. Someone is shouting in the back, and this person walking while looking at the backside because one person is shouting. And if you see a pit in here, now audience will be get that idea. Now this man going to fall to the pit. Okay, so it is an anticipation. Anticipation means audience have a idea with the common sense what going to happen in next. So that's anticipation. So that anticipation should be there. Okay, with the common sense, this going to be happen. So uh, that anticipation will be create if something happen unexpected. Now, for example, we audience will be think this the previous guy will be falling into the pit, but in the last moment he will turn over and walk in the other direction. Okay, so now audience will be calm down because that person did not fall into the pit, even because we unconsciously that this person has turned around because that person behind him has called. Okay, so anticipation is a quality that audience will be have a perception that something going to happen, but it may happen, but it may not happen. Okay, now the third one is flow through an overlapping. That means if uh, one person walking, there is a walking pattern. Okay, we call it as work cycle. So the arms should move smoothly when you do a walk. So uh, here, sorry, in here if we I can't draw here, but we'll see another way. Now if I move a person, now the movement of this hand should be this direction when walk, and this hand will be move in this direction when walk. Okay, but the moving should be smooth move. If the next movement, if I draw in a different color, from here to here movement should be smooth movement. Okay, not a scattered movement. It should be smooth movement. In here also, the next movement of this hand also should be smooth movement from here to here. Otherwise, if does not smooth, audience will be feel the animation is odd. So that is called flow. And in animation, if you move a person like this, think there is a bag with the person. If this is the bag, this object will be moved in one layer. So this human object will be in one layer. Okay. For example, if we take it in the layer mode, you have one layer here, other layer here, and we see the object in this direction. Okay, so you have human here, and the object will be here. This will be the object. We will see the screen from here. So through the human and the object, we see together, but they are in two layers. We call this as layers. Human will be in this layer, object will be in this layer, and proper movement with the, we have to move this object properly with the hand movement of the human. Okay, so that is the proper overlapping. Otherwise, the total output animation will be odd. If the hand is here, if the object is in here, then animation is odd. According to the hand movement, the object should be moved with the hand. So that will give the impression that this person holding this object. Otherwise, if the hand movement is in the various pattern and various motion, and the object movement is in the different motion, then audience find it is odd. Okay, so audience does not get the feeling this object is held by this person's hand. Okay, if there is proper overlapping, then the object also move with the hand. So that is one another principle of animation, proper flow and the overlap. So we can make the movements are really realistic. And the action and the speed, timing and the spacing. Now you had already created the flipbook. Okay. So according to the timing, if there are smaller movement in the flipbook, you will have a slower animation. Okay, so that is the timing. If you have larger movement, animation will be speeder, but animation can be non-smooth, less smooth if you have larger uh, movement in each page of the flipbook. So how much pages you use to demonstrate a movement, it will determine the time and the spacing of the movement. How much space mean how much page you will be used to indicate a movement. For example, this hand movement, how much pages you will use to show the hand movement. Okay, it will determine the smoothness and the speed of the hand movement. Last one is exaggeration. That means we will show emotion uh, in extra depth or extra strong. For example, this is the normal sad. Exaggeration means very sad. See the difference between two faces. This is sad. Exaggeration, if we this is the normal face, if we apply exaggeration, then this will be the result. Extreme emotion. Okay, so those are the uh, basic 5 principles of animation. So when we create animation, we have to worry about those things. How the character, how the character, how the characters squish and stretch, and the anticipation, flow and overlapping, timing and the spacing, the number of pages you will use for show a animation, and exaggeration. Okay, now we will be moved to the animation techniques. One is traditional animation. That means, as we had done already done the flipbook, we will draw animation with a small movement and we will move the pages fast or frame fast. We call each page as a frame. Digital animation. Digital animation will use the digital frame. It it will be generate if we have to give the first movement and the last movement, the in between frames will be automatically generated by the computer. So there are some tools as Adobe Animate, Tone, Boom, Harmony, TV Paint. There are these are some uh, softwares that you can use for build 2D animation by giving the starting point of the movement and the end point of the movement, and the software will be automatically create in between movement, in between frames. Then third one is stop motion. So in the stop motion, we will use physical object, or maybe you may already seen animation by clay. So those animation has creating by making all the things by clay or their objects, and move the object and take photographs step by step. Then rearrange the photo frames faster so you will see animation. We call that type of animation as stop motion animation. And in this course we will do the digital animation. Traditional animation, a sample we had done by the flipbook. Okay, and in the next slide we will discuss about the stop motion. So see how this stop motion is creating.
Hey everyone, Sean here with Photodiox.com. We recently did this little stop motion animation for our Photodiox logo for Valentine's Day, and I thought I'd make this quick video showing you how I did it. Now, I'm no stop motion expert, but you don't really have to be to do simple stop motion animation. So let me show you a little demo kind of recreating what I did for our logo animation. All right, let's do a simple word. So I'm gonna just do hi. Let's just take some of these hearts and we'll get rid of these. So you might wonder, why did I start with it already made? Because in the animation, it starts out kind of on the sides and all comes together. Well, it's much easier to do the animation in reverse. Start with the ordered letters and then move them out. And then all you have to do is reverse the animation in post to make it look like the letters are coming together. Next, you're going to need a camera and a tripod, and you're actually going to use still mode. Even though this is a video, you're going to be shooting each individual frame as a still. So let's get this set up here. Now I am photographing it backwards, but this is just to kind of demonstrate the process. So you're going to get your camera set up and you're going to take a picture. Now you're going to want to make sure that your camera is in manual mode. If you have it in auto mode, each photo might be a different exposure and it's going to make the animation look really ugly. So set it full manual mode and just lock in your settings. And you're also going to need some lights. So right here today I'm using a Sky Filler 1x2 light from Photodiox, and I'm also using a Flapjack C700 Studio LED constant source light. And having lights like this are essential for stop motion because you need constant light that doesn't change. If you're just shooting with daylight through a window, those lights may change, as the clouds move by the sun. So you're going to want to use constant source lights that are set to one setting and just keep them locked down. Okay, so we're gonna take our first picture, and that's the logo completed. And then we're going to just move everything. I'm gonna start with just this. Take a picture. Just gonna move it a little more. Every time you move the different pieces, you're only gonna want to move them half the length of their thickness. If you move them too much between frames, the speed will just be too fast and it'll be hard for the viewer to even know what they're seeing. All right, take a picture. And then you're just gonna keep doing this process. I'm gonna start moving the eye as well. Actually, I'm gonna move the eye this way. You're just gonna keep doing this process until the letters are out of frame. And it's good to kind of keep mental note of everything that needs to move. Because if you're not careful, you might forget what has and has not moved. So just kind of create a mental map of the different things that are moving and make sure you move everything between each frame. And I won't bore you with the rest of the process. You're basically gonna just keep moving everything until it's out of frame, and then you're done. Now we're gonna take our JPEGs and import them into editing software. I'm using Adobe Premiere, but this will work with other editors as well. So we're gonna hit File, Import, and we're gonna open our folder that we have all our stop motion JPEGs in. And we're just gonna select the first JPEG, and we're gonna check the box that says Image Sequence. And we're just going to hit import. And Adobe will take all of the JPEGs and import them as an image sequence, basically turning them into a video file. Then create a sequence. I'm going to do an HD sequence, and then drag and drop the animation file into it. Now it's going to ask you if you want to make the sequence bigger to fit the resolution of the photos, but we're going to keep it at HD quality. And because we kept it at HD resolution, the video is pretty cropped in, so we're just going to adjust the size of the video so it fits better into the frame. Next, we're going to right click on the animation in the sequence, select speed duration, and check reverse speed. This will reverse our animation so it looks like all the candy hearts are actually coming together to form photodiox. And while we're at it, let's slow it down to 80%. Then to make it more interesting, I added some keyframes to zoom in and out and follow some of the pieces as they're moving around on the board. And because these JPEGs are much higher resolution than a video file, we have the resolution to do this. And here's our final photodiox logo animation. Okay, that's a pretty simple look at the basics of stop motion animation. If you'd like to learn more about stop motion animation, just search on YouTube. There's a whole community on here and they do amazing stuff. And like I said, you're going to need constant source light for stop motion animation. So if you'd like to learn about either of the photodiox lights featured in today's video, click the link in the description below. And also click right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos just like this one. I'm Sean with photodiox.com and happy animating.
Okay, so we had seen how you can create a stop motion animation by using a camera. So today we had discussed how you can do stop motion animation, and the previous day we had discussed how you can create a traditional animation by using a flipbook. Now remaining is digital animation, how you can create a animation by using software. So from next video on, we will discuss how you can uh, create a and before in this lesson there is a process of any animation. First one is we will create a storyboard. So storyboard has a sketching of every key scene in the animation, and it will tell what is going on in the animation by step. Then in here we will design the create characters and backgrounds and other props, other things we need for the animation. We have to create them, because if we take a character appearance will be differ in the various sites. So you can create the characters and the characters walking styles, walking cycles we have to create. Then animatics means rough time version of the storyboard. That means rough animation video that we have the animation uh, the animations are not smooth but rough animation. We will do a rough animation. Then in here we will be indicate the keyframe during the primary frames. Key movement. So intermediate movements will be drawn by the software. We will mention the keyframes of the action. Okay, in betweens mean the keyframe for smoother movement. Okay. Then we will define the drawings and adding color to the frames. After you create the in-between frames, uh, you will be add colors. In the fourth steps, we will be use the primary frames, the keyframes. Okay. Even before keyframes, we will be create a rough animation. This is for all of the versions. That means traditional animation, digital animation, and stop motion animations. We can have that this process. Then final composite means we will be add sounds, effects, music, and final adjustments for the animation. Now, when it come to the digital animation, in here what we do is we will create a storyboard by placing the key scenes of the animation. Then uh, we will not we can create separate characters, uh, but in here we will be create the characters by when we need the characters into the scenes. Then we will not create a timed version in the digital animation. uh, Instead we will be create scenes in the digital animation, and we will add the keyframes, and creating in betweens will done itself by the computer. We do not need to worry by this step in the digital animation. Also, cleanup and colorings also you can easily do by digital animation when you create the scenes. And we can add sound and music in the final adjustments. Effects you can do along with the animation when we do digital animations. Okay, in the next lesson we will be see how you can do them in Adobe Animate. And before do that, we will see how you can install Adobe Animate 2015 in Windows 11 machine. Okay, until that video, I will I will stop this lesson. So by the next lesson, we will be discuss about how you can install Adobe Animate CC 2015. That is the Animate start of the Animate series. The previous the up to the uh, Animate, we had Adobe Flash Professional for this specific work, 2D animation. In 2015, the Adobe Institute introduced Adobe Animate. Okay, see you in the next lesson. How you can install Adobe Animate. After that, how you can work on Adobe Animate.